Well, I don't want to come off the bench is not a personal issue. Well, I don't like my role.
DeWanna Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't want to be
DeWanna Bonner? More like Dana Goner. That's right, what we just saw in the WNBA was one of the most unprofessional and immature moments in recent memory. A player who was supposed to bring veteran leadership to the Indiana Fever has instead walked away, throwing in the towel when things got tough. Instead of stepping up, she chose to leave, showing she couldn't handle being part of a team that's finally making a real impact.
Wave veteran DeWanna Bonner, the team announced. Indiana looked at trade possibilities for the six-time All-Star, who had not played since June 10th for what the team called, quote, personal reasons. Well, the personal reasons were, from what I could tell, playing time is what I know.
When Dana Bonner signed with the Indiana Fever back in February, she likely expected a calm, low-pressure team where she could easily step into a starting role and cruise through the season. But what she walked into was something entirely different, a team completely transformed by Caitlin Clark. Now, the Fever is the most watched, most talked about, and most competitive team in the WNBA.
DeWanna Bonner out with the old. Aaron McDonald, welcome back in with the new breaking. The Fever are waving. DeWanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Ari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade.
The signs were there from the very beginning, but Bonner couldn't see past her own ego to recognize them. She started the first 3 games of the season and managed just 2.6 points per game, shooting a dismal 2-4-12 from the field. That's not what you expect from a seasoned pro. It's not leadership, it's decline.
DeWanna Bonner signs a free agent contract with the Indiana Fever, and after a handful of games, wants a Fever exit, apparently. And that is a strange situation, right? Because she was embraced. She had her achievement at the beginning of the season, moving up the scoring ranks. They were referring to her as Mama Bear in training camp. And now all of a sudden that has fallen apart. She was out of the starting lineup, hadn't really produced that much, particularly on the offensive end. And this, looks poor on the franchise when it comes to the free agent moves in retrospect, the team that they put together in the offseason. I don't think it reflects well on DeWanna Bonner, whose absence was for quote unquote personal reasons, but now it seems like she was just upset with the team and the situation overall, and it adds more drama to what has been a drama-filled season for Caitlin Clark in the...
It was clear from the start, but Bonner seemed too caught up in her own status to notice. She started the first 3 games of the season, averaging just 2.6 points and hitting only 2 of her 12 shots. That's not the performance of a trusted veteran, it's a sign that her game is slipping.
Her minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, if her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels she would be the best.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. Now, how did our so-called veteran leader respond to a totally fair coaching decision? Like a spoiled kid who didn't get their way. Instead of stepping up, putting in the work, and earning her spot back, Bonner took the easy way out. She asked for a trade. The reason? She said it just wasn't the right fit, which in basketball terms usually means, I don't like not being the star. But it didn't stop there. She didn't just ask for a trade and keep things professional, she completely bailed on her team. Bonner stopped showing up, claiming personal reasons, and missed 5 straight games while the rest of the team kept pushing forward. Let's be honest, the only personal reason here is that her ego took a hit when she realized she might not be good enough to start on a team chasing a championship.
Couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from three. She's an excellent three-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out every single game.
This isn't just about basketball skills, it's about character. And Dana Bonner's character showed cracks the moment real pressure hit. She was brought in to be a steady, veteran presence on a young team. But as soon as that team started attracting national attention, thanks to a once-in-a-generation talent like Caitlin Clark, Bonner couldn't take it. She didn't thrive in the spotlight, she crumbled. It's clear she struggled with not being the center of attention. The jealousy? You could see it from a mile away. Here's a player who spent most of her career winning titles quietly, on teams that flew under the radar. Now, suddenly, she's on the most talked about team in women's basketball, and instead of rising to the moment, she backed down.
Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya, right? I'm not telling you gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. DeWanna Bonner out with the old. Aaron McDonald, welcome back in with the new breaking. The Fever are waving. DeWanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Ari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade option.
Instead of appreciating the chance to be part of something truly special, Bonner resented it. She couldn't stand that 17,000 fans weren't showing up to see her, they were there for Caitlin Clark. She didn't like that every game was sold out, not because of her experience, but because of a 22-year-old rookie who's already done more for women's basketball than Bonner ever will. But let's be honest, the bigger issue here goes beyond one player. The real tension comes from the old guard of the WNBA. For years, many veterans have coasted in a quiet, low-pressure league, playing in half-empty arenas, mostly for friends, family, and a few loyal fans. Then Caitlin Clark arrived. Suddenly, arenas are packed, TV ratings are skyrocketing, and the whole country wants to know more about the WNBA, and instead of seeing that as a turning point, something exciting, some of these veterans took it personally. They didn't welcome the change, they felt threatened by it. Because Clark didn't just raise the spotlight, she raised the standard.
So, the truth is, DeWanna Bonner was butthurt. That's what it comes down to. She was butthurt, her ego was bruised, and she wanted to cry and leave. This is a shame. See, if you're truly a team player, you accept that Lexi Hull's better than you. You accept being a role player and contribute of the way you can. And why do you even care at this point? You're 37 years old. You're making a lot of money for a WNBA player. Why not just ride it out? I don't understand that. You know what it was? She missed her boo thing in Phoenix, and she just want to wiggle her way out so she can go to Phoenix. That's all it was.
The old guard of the WNBA just couldn't handle it. Here comes a young, talented, and wildly marketable rookie, and suddenly, the league is getting more attention than it has in decades. For some veterans, that wasn't exciting, it was threatening. Years of paying dues didn't seem to matter anymore, not when Caitlin Clark walked in and instantly became the face of the league.so. Instead of rising to the moment, some of them did what insecure people often do, they tried to tear down the person who was making them look outdated. And Dana Bonner, who should have been a role model bridging the past and the future, chose the wrong side. Rather than lead, she acted out. The moment she realized she might not be starting every game, she threw a weeks-long tantrum that ended with her walking away from the team entirely. This wasn't just disappointing, it was embarrassing. We're talking about a 37-year-old acting like a teenager who didn't make the varsity team.
Get here. Long story short, DB thought her role was going to be one thing. She came in playing terrible, got benched, and was upset about it. Long story short, Shorty got her record and dipped. That's low-key crazy, y'all. Shorty dipped from the team for personal reasons for 5-6 games and then said she has no intentions on coming back? Because you sucked this year? She really had to be a double agent, dog. There's no way. She a career 29% three-point shooter, but she was shooting 30-footers with us. No bullshit. Like, it's no way. She was missing layups. She was getting blown by, like...
Now let's look at where Dana Bonner is reportedly trying to force a trade, and it says a lot about her mindset. One possible destination? The Phoenix Mercury, the team where she spent the first decade of her career. In other words, she's trying to retreat to her comfort zone, a place where there's no spotlight, no pressure, and no expectation to lead a rising team. Another rumored option is the Atlanta Dream, home to Brittany Griner, who, as we all saw in that viral clip, allegedly directed a slur at Caitlin Clark after fouling out. It's no secret that Griner, like several others, hasn't exactly embraced what Clark brings to the league, and this is who Bonner wants to surround herself with, players who've openly resented everything Caitlin Clark represents. Rather than being part of something fresh and exciting, Bonner is choosing to align with the most toxic voices in the league. That tells you everything you need to know.
Anybody with any intuition could sort of see that this was getting odd. The amount of time that she had missed, with no explanation as to why, no timeline on her return, not making the road trip, all of these things, the lack of information and the basic mystery would be enough to get anybody's spidey sense tingling about this situation. But on top of that, I'll tell you this much. I heard that it was more basketball related than anything else over the weekend.
And then, after all that, she has the nerve to release a statement thanking the Indiana Fever, acting like she's some kind of gracious professional handling things with class. Who does she think she's fooling? It's like someone burning down your house and then thanking you for the matches. You don't get to walk away from your team, leave your teammates stranded, and then pretend you're taking the high road. That here's the irony. The Fever are actually better off without her. One less toxic presence on a team that's finally building something meaningful. They've already replaced her with a player who truly wants to be there, someone who values the chance and will fight for the team, not against it.
And there's been so much speculation around her absence, but the whole thing was just kind of bizarre, and a lot of Fever fans were speculating that we're not going to see her back. And just today, it was announced that she has no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and her preferred destinations are either Atlanta or the Phoenix Mercury. It's also been reported that the main reason that she wanted to leave is because things felt off from the beginning, and she thought that she would be a starter. But if you guys remember, DB was starting in the beginning of the season, and she honestly just wasn't playing her best, so Lexi Hall moved into that starting position.
DeWanna Bonner knew damn well she didn't want to come to Indiana. She knew she didn't want to be there. She knew she didn't want to be there. I think the fix was in. The Phoenix Mercury didn't have the bread to pay her. She said, I'm going to get the bag elsewhere, and then I'm going to force my way out to where within the first half of the season before All-Star, Alyssa Thomas, I'm going to be on your team. I think the fix has been in. I think the Phoenix Mercury knew this was going to happen. I think they knew this was going to happen. I think she played bad on purpose. She plummeted her stock to the point where it's not like we could trade her. It's official. It is official, y'all.